Welcome back to the after party on location at San Antonio's newest hotspot, the Long Bar. Up next, we take a look at one of the most popular art exhibits in Texas. The artist is known for his characters hearing a who or stealing Christmas. So, Krista, I'm very familiar with his books. As a child, I read those a lot. Tell me a little bit about his art.
Well, you're not alone. I mean, most people know Dr. Seuss.
Of
you
course.
know Horton Hears a Who, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, no, this is actually a little bit more adult art. I mean, it's mostly the same characters, but in a little bit more adult situations, and I don't mean in bad situations, just a little bit more adult. So, actually, after he passed away, his wife made some of his personal artwork available in print edition. So that's what we're gonna see. And then he also has some really wacky stuffed head sort of things. So it's cool. It's really cool.
Awesome.
So,
Well, I'm interested in seeing it.
Okay, Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears a Who, right?
Green eggs and ham, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, The Cat in the Hat, all of it.
But this is not really all just kids stuff, right? I don't really see kids books.
Not at all. We do have a collection of the illustration art of Dr. Seuss, so things that you recognize from the books, but the majority of our collection is called the secret art of Dr. Seuss. So it's things that you didn't know about that he was painting for his own enjoyment, the public didn't have access to. So sculptures with real animal parts.
So let me just back you up. Secret. What are we talking secret? How secret?
The public didn't see these pieces.
Okay.
Dr. Seuss painted for his own enjoyment. These are pieces that he didn't publish in any books, didn't publish in cartoons.
So he basically had those hanging around his own home?
Just in his own home, just had them in his studio. Some of them he worked on for 10 years and others just were quick sketches, but just things for his own personal enjoyment that he might have used on projects if he'd had the opportunity, but he didn't.
So those are the good ones that nobody got to see.
Some of them have a little bit more grown-up humor, so it's things that...
So how did you get them if they're so secret?
These
come you've got them?
The Secret Art of Dr. Seuss is a collection of limited editions. So we work with a publisher who works directly with Seuss's widow, and we are one of the biggest, have one of the biggest collections of Dr. Seuss secret art in the country.
Okay, so that means this is here at the gallery at all times.
It's permanently here.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
Wonderful. I absolutely love those colors. You wouldn't expect
a lot
those
of these
either.
are dating to when he actually did cartooning as part of his early career, where he's using a darker background and a lighter foreground. But when you're talking about more grown-up pieces, we've got our great big cat series here. So the cat from the wrong side of the tracks, who's actually on his last of his 9 lives, and has a little nude kitty on his tie. He's out playing pool. I mean, this is obviously what the Cat in the Hat does at night, is he goes out and has a gin and tonic and plays pool with his buds.
Look at that facial expression. Just with a few lines. I mean, they're just absolute,
So definitely not really intended for kids, but just something that was really more relevant to Dr. Seuss's life.
Kitty too?
So this one's just the innocent cat with cigar. But these are kind of, you know, Dr. Seuss didn't actually really like cats, but he gave them very distinct personalities. So whenever he created certain animals, he usually gave them a certain personality. An elephant was usually faithful, and, you know, so it would take care of others.
So that's
and loyal,
where really the kids' books, where it carries over, where he's using those.
And those are just ideas that he'd used through cartooning, advertising, and his kids' books, and his paintings. And then his primary medium for painting was actually originally watercolor, but some pieces like the Plethora of Cats was actually an oil painting that he worked on for over a decade. He continued to put it back on the easel, take it off, work on it again.
Okay, what else you got back here?
Well, so we've got a couple other pieces that are, again, are a little bit more grown up. We have the martini bird with her martini glass.
Oh my God, look at the outfit.
Yeah, and she's
You've got to dig this
she's got this like lederhosen on and everything. So he's kind of
little things suspended.
It's supposed to be a little teddy bear, but I kind of get the feeling that it might be kind of referring to a child or something like that, where she's got her martini glass and kind of dragging him around behind her. This is part of the La Jolla Birdwoman series.
Occupied.
Yeah, where he was kind of poking fun at some of the women he lived nearby when he lived in California.
Okay.
And actually, an interesting piece, the view from the window of a rented beach cottage shows you one of Dr. Seuss's few mixed media pieces that were actually involving painting. So the original of this was a painting that he actually put inside of a window frame that he just found. So it was one of his few kind of really found object pieces.
Oh, that is so clever with having a screen in front.
Well, and you can just imagine Sneetches walking in from either side, and there's a whole Seussian world on the other side of that window screen.
It is so perfect with that kind of quirky world it creates.
Right.
That is just
the fun thing about this
wonderful.
collection is that you realize that Dr. Seuss really wasn't just for kids. And some people have caught on to that already, but this is really something that people bring the kids in and they don't get it, because so much of his humor was really more just a grown up, an adult, and dealing with the issues that adults are more used to. So
yeah, I think if you ever really read the book Horton Hears Who,
right.
you know, I mean, there's more there than just for the little kids.
Oh,
I mean, if you just read a little bit, it's like it opens up so many possibilities.
Well, and around that time, after World War II, Dr. Seuss had been getting into slightly more political messages in his books. And some of it you can relate to a specific group of people, and others you can only really could be universally taken. So.
Right. Those colors are so beautiful. Oh, look at this one.
The economic situation
this is almost like
clarified.
Escher, but there was no Escher at this time.
Escher was around much earlier in Dr. Seuss's career.
Oh, really?
And Dr. Seuss actually...
Did they know each other?
Not that I know of, but I'm assuming that Dr. Seuss had some early exposure to Escher's work when he was living in, when he was at school at Oxford and then traveling around Italy and quite a bit of Europe. Dr. Seuss, his publisher,
I didn't see that.
right, it was one of those little notations he made, but Dr. Seuss's publisher actually bet Dr. Seuss $50 that he could not write a book using 50 words or less.
Oh my goodness, really?
And so he wrote Green Eggs and Ham, where the words repeat themselves. Sam, I am Sam, same 3 words. And
I never knew that.
That's still Dr. Seuss's
bestseller.
story. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, I mean, that was a super tour. Loved the story with the 50 words. That's great. And I hope a lot of people get to see that.
Me too.